Oh. Well, so I'm going to do this.
So this is all the stuff you found over in, what, a year? So which one was the first ring you found? Can you find it, or?
Yeah, I'm still sorting through them. The first ring that ever started would have been this one here.
Oh
It
yeah.
took a long time to find a good spot, but it's definitely still one of my favourites. You never forget the first ring you ever found.
Today we're checking the erosion beaches. Now, we've had quite a lot of erosion here, and we're using the C-scope and some COS headphones from the Mine Lab. Apparently we're getting a lot better depth and a lot better.
Yeah, very sharp signals. Yeah, look, just as you're gone out of them 3 holes there that I haven't yet filled, I've got these. I've got a gold bracelet, gold earring.
Okay.
Yep. I got a $2 coin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's definitely gold.
So that's out of the first 2 holes.
Yeah.
You reckon about
Out of the
spot
first
down?
2 holes up. The ground changes, goes up and down, and you have to go really slow with the detector. There's a couple of big holes that a few other people have dug out here, and they look like they've dug deep, so I suppose that explains why there's a lot of grass and
This ring
foliage.
here, it's very well worn, but when we dug it out, it certainly had a lot of history to it, and it actually looked like a piece of flat copper. It was bright orange, bright coppery colour, and I didn't even know it was a ring until I made out the stamping within it. And then I actually took it back to the jewellers and got them to put it back to what it was, and they told me a little bit about the history about the maker, and it was over 100 years old.
Oh, okay, so how much did it cost you to repair that?
It cost $90 from to re-roll it, but you know, for the second ring ever found and not even knowing it was a ring, it's still very special today.
Well, what we've discovered here is that looks like an old mine shaft or somewhat. Looks like it's filled in. You can see some people have had some detectors here. I haven't seen too many detectoring holes. There's another one there that's pretty recent, picking up the maybe little bits the old timers dropped or maybe missed. They're not doing things the old school way without using the old.
Because it's the higher section of the beach. Don't think that the heavier things are always going to sink down to the bottom. Sometimes they actually get pushed all the way to the top, especially when you have man-made barriers.
Okay.
You can place things in the oddest spots.
So you getting any better depth with those
I
headphones?
will tell you that as soon as I find a deep target. And look, there's the other earring. That's proof that I did find the other one.
That's another gold earring.
That's the same, that's a matching pair now. See, got 2 of them now.
Ah, good stuff.
And it's funny how they're spaced apart like that. So.
Okay, what about that ring you're holding now? What happened there?
That's just a standard wedding band that we often find. It's a shame when they're not engraved, because we would love to always give the rings back that we find to people.
Yeah.
So, you know, if they're engraved, you can put them on the website and actually help get it back to the right owners. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, look on their face, that's when
yeah.
they get it back.
Unfortunately, there's a slightly sad story about this job.
Yeah, go on.
We went out to a beach to recover a lost ring that the lady had left on her bag when she went in for a swim. She forgot that it was on her bag. She got up, ran with it, and she lost it, and it took her a week to call us up to come down and have a look for it, and unfortunately we couldn't find it. But in the process of looking for her ring,
we found
another plain male's wedding band, and it seems to be what we often find.
If you look up in the tree, you'll see that's a Garrett Deep Seeker up there. One of the most expensive.
The special ones, once again, to me personally, it wasn't ever worth scrap melting and melting down into a big nugget, because I thought it was always very special. A lot of the times we find bits of broken jewellery and little pieces of rings that have fallen apart, and we sometimes will bring them down and melt them down into scrap nuggets, 9 carat nuggets.
Gee, that's a big one, isn't it? How many ounces is that?
45 grams.
Alright, it's just over about an ounce and a half.
Yeah, about 45 grams.
So that's a real ruby in that, is it?
Oh, that's a real ruby. It's certainly an old ring,
Yeah.
but it's just one of those ones that's just not quite worth scrapping. It brings back, better to talk about it than actually never see it again.
Might be a lot of rubbish, but there's also the potential for a lot of gold here
Too
too.
bad. 2 earrings and a.
I've got a crab hanging around my foot here. What we got? You haven't dug it up yet.
Another bobby pin.
Ah, okay.
Always keep your rubbish.
Yeah.
You don't want to be digging it up next time, and you don't want someone to potentially stand on a sinker or something sharp that you've dug up.
Found quite often the males' wedding bands.
Yeah.
You see the list of them here, and that's not even the start of them. There's dozens of them around, males' wedding bands.
Yeah, they were found with all the sinkers, weren't they? We
Yeah.
figure that the fishermen lose their rings on the surf beaches.
Yeah,
Something like that,
certainly,
you know.
Especially, every now and then you'll find a real gem in it,
Yeah.
because they're all 9 carat those ones in there.
Yeah.
That's 22 carat ring there. That's,
Yeah, it'd be pretty heavy, that one, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
and fly off a finger very easily, especially if you're casting a rod or just going for a little splash in the water.
It's got a beautiful colour, that one, like you said. Yeah, well, eventually we'll clear the whole beach. Get rid of all the rubbish. Then all that can be left then is the rings and the jewellery.
One would think so. There's been a lot of metal detectors here. I don't see many little holes around. It looks like it was definitely maybe an old riverbed that's been actually worked by the old timers. Maybe they're only getting the smaller stuff out of here.
One piece of wood that has got an interesting story to it is this one here. Just looking, out popped this beautiful 1 carat antique platinum diamond ring.
Jeez, that'd be worth a bit of money, wouldn't it?
Well, it's a real diamond in it.
Yeah, loud and clear, yeah.
Well, it's a pretty faint signal, so it yells out a lot louder than something that's close to the ground. So
Okay, so
See
we're
how we go.
detecting fairly close to the beach here.
still down a lot further than that. Alright, I think I got him out. Here we go.
Look,
I don't know. Ah! Bingo, you beauty.
you got a
See,
gold
I told
ring.
you on the right track.
Oh, you
we
lucky
go.
bugger.
That's definitely gold, not
That's a
plated
nice
for
solid
sure.
one too, that one, isn't it? Give us a look.
That must be recent too, because it hasn't shown much forms of corrosion. So,
Oh, you little ripper.
yeah. So we'll keep persisting
That'll
along
pay
this
for the
track.
day.
That's it.
Good
Couple more of
stuff.
those, and that's a day's wages. I've lost it.
What about this big one here?
Oh, that's a ladies. That'd be a ladies' big bangle, possibly for a male, but I suppose it's more of a female sort of a thing. And also 9 carat. This one was actually found on the calm side of a beach after a massive storm. It kicked up some real weather, and it shifted a lot of sand from one place to another. And on top of the actual rocks that had been exposed underneath the sand, this was found sitting on the top of the rocks, as spotted with the eye before running the metal detector over it. Now, this has happened to me more than once, where I've actually noticed the ring sitting on the surface before actually running the metal detector over it to realise that
What's
sometimes.
that sitting right there? That'd be white gold too, 'cause look how shiny it is.
It's been in there a while, so yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, it's heavy as all hell. It's yellow gold. That's a heavy little sucker.
With your eyes.
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times too.
Weight distribution.
I remember
certain things conjugate in certain areas, so if you could find where the heavy things are, light things are, round things are, and then somehow triangulate it, that's where you're looking for your rings.
Yeah, so the rings are around here somewhere.
So the coins are getting bigger as we're moving along the beach here, and heavier, because we noticed they're getting lighter as we went down that way. And the heavier things are at the top, but that was all of the new rubbish. The lighter things are down the bottom, so we need to move through the middle of the beach until we start getting to the sinkers, and then start moving up and down the beach to see if we can find where any possible rings might be lying.
Yeah, okay. So they'll be closer to the sinkers, won't they? Because of the weight.
They'll be in between the sinkers and the coins, unless you're looking for the really heavy chunky ones where they could be even passed further than the sinkers, which might be the 22 carat ones if you're lucky enough to score one like that.
Alright, it's in there somewhere. Where is it gone? You got it. It's in my hand somewhere. Oh, you little ripper. Oh man, what a little beauty. It's got to be over a
About the same as the last ring, so it's fairly round, so seems deep.
Yeah, well you can't get two rings in one hit.
No, I have, but they haven't both been gold, one's been silver.
Couldn't be that lucky.
Not when the camera's on anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something even better.
What?
A bloody threepence.
A threepence?
Oh, nice. It is completely and utterly destroyed.
Oh no, it's just a bit black. If
Oh
we can clean
no,
that
she's
up.
well worn, but that's a coin that's pre-decimal. That's
Yeah.
an old Australian with around the pennies. That's actually, I think they're about 90% silver.
Yeah.
And that's a legitimate old find.
That's before 1966, that, isn't it?
That's half the value of a sixpence. As for making a date out on it,
Yeah, but that means there's old stuff here, old
Yeah.
jewellery.
and that's what I'm looking for.
So,
Oh, it's definitely a threepence.
yeah,
That's what we're looking for.
yeah, that's
Looking
a good
for platinum
sign.
rings and diamonds in them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
remember this
looking
one
for.
here. Is that the one where we took the TDI after a storm on the surf beach, and it was the first signal on the low spot?
Yeah, you pointed it out. We weren't going to go out
Yeah.
to that spot, and he said, "Oh no, I want to try and put the TDI on flat out." And
Just trying that one spot, and it turned out to be the first signal, didn't it?
well, pretty much the only signal that was there, but it was down.
It was a
nearly
few
miles.
20-cent pieces in that. Yeah, it was about down to the knees, wasn't it?
Yeah, we almost gave up on it. It's really hard when you start digging holes that deep.
Yeah, because they just fall in on themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the story of the two diamond rings you found? The lady rang us up and said she was extremely upset, and we ended up finding it in the grass.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she was absolutely over the moon,
Yeah,
crying.
those
She
big
was
rings,
wearing
those
glasses.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
there's
upset.
nothing better than actually giving a ring back to somebody. But occasionally, the only ring that I really ever wear myself is this one here. It's not valuable. It's just made out of an old coin. It was something that the World War people done in World War II. The diggers, they used to smash them out of old florins and shillings, and they'd actually make a coin into a ring. If you actually look on the inside of it carefully, you'll see it says Florin, Australia.
I always thought it was illegal to do damage to coins, but anyway, apparently it's not.
Yeah, not back then.
What about these gold nuggets? I can see they've got little bales on them.
Yeah, they're the larger pieces that we turned into wearing pieces.
Into jewellery pieces,
On one
yeah.
stage. And
What about this one here?
I think that's about 17.5 grams. We had that polished up. You can still see the remnants of quartz on the actual inside of it. It's a really unique specimen. That was found in Victoria, Denali.
Denali.
Many years ago that one was.
Hey, what about that ring in your hand? What happened there?
That's another one that we'd found a spot that for some reason at that stage on the surf beach they'd just placed sinkers everywhere.
Oh, that was after the storm, wasn't it? Yeah, with all the sinkers that had appeared out of nowhere. Yeah.
And it had been placed. It had placed all the heavy things in one spot and all the sinkers.
Yeah.
And just to the side, like literally sinkers inches apart, beep, 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 beep. It was annoying. You could dig in just randomly and be digging out sinkers.
I remember that. Was digging and digging and digging, an exhaustive run of sinkers, and all of a sudden a ring just popped straight out of the end of it, didn't it?
Yep.